Okay, so welcome back, everybody. 4 sessions left for our werewolf foray. Last week, I don't know, Longy, did you watch the last session we did? Or
it's not available yet. Not available yet.
Okay, it's not available yet. So last week, on our bonus session, was it? I can't remember. No.
Guest star session, I think you were saying?
Yeah. Well, regardless, the last session, we didn't have Longy with us. And the group decided to look into some goings-on with a suspected another werewolf in the area. They tracked the werewolf to their home. Lenexia kind of figured and turned out to be correct that Hannah Harcourt had actually had her first change during the ceremony that was done in the woods that they investigated, which allowed her both to survive and escape the scene. So they tracked her to her house, and we ended the session with a rather interesting combination of events, with Zev basically kind of dealing with Hannah's husband, who has appeared to have been wounded. Zev offered to look at his wound, which didn't seem to be well taken care of. It looked as if Victor, which is his husband's name, basically tried to treat the wound himself. He claimed that he injured himself in his workshop, working on some project. As Zev removed the bandage and tried to help him redress the wound, Zev noticed that it was not any kind of industrial-looking injury. He had several puncture wounds in his hand that were still quite open, that appeared to be a bite mark of a particularly large fashion, mouth, as it were. So Zev decided to try to help him and suture the bite wounds closed. He did not do very well. In fact, a little bit of his rage kind of overcame him at the sight of a person, a mortal, being so mishandled by obviously some kind of supernatural creature that Zev actually made the wounds worse. And poor Victor passed out in a heap on the kitchen floor. Zev quickly did what he could to make sure that he didn't bleed out, and did successfully make sure that he didn't bleed out. But Victor is now unfortunately unconscious, and Zev decided to take the opportunity to head upstairs and see what was going on up there, while at the same time Lenexia reached the rear upper deck porch and allowed herself into the both of them discovering Hannah Harcourt kind of in rumpled clothing on the floor with her laptop balanced on her knees. At which point she very angrily asked them what they were doing in her home while she took on full Krynos form and attacked Lenexia. And our group managed to subdue her, or at least resist her, long enough for her to shift back into human form and curl up in a fetal position on the floor, repeating over and over again, "Not alone. Not alone. I'm not the only one." And we left it there. So, all of our... You did go for a throw in lupus form.
Nearly killed the lead plotline.
You came into the room, you saw that Kelsey was being, who I believe was in Hispo form, being pressed up against the wall. Or rather, Lenexia was pressing Hannah up against the wall, trying to hold her steady. Fenton ran into the room and saw what he thought for the moment was Zev on the ground, possibly injured. feared for his pack, and so went straight to Hannah's.
That's my boy.
Yep, I thought he was dead, man. I thought he was dead.
In Canada, we call that a cluster puck.
It was an intense scene.
It was emotional, man.
So yeah, we ended at that point. I think we find ourselves now again at that very same moment in Hannah's bedroom. Set the scene. Hannah Harcourt has just collapsed to the floor, nude, because when she shifted into Crinus form, the clothing that she had been wearing had just completely shredded as she went from a slight, maybe 5'2" or 3" woman of slight build to a 9 foot tall raging werewolf creature. Her clothing is.
I like my Tinder dates.
What's that?
And so I like my Tinder dates.
And so yeah, she's kind of crumpled up on the floor. Seems to be in hysteria of some kind. You still have Victor downstairs, who is unconscious but stable. What do you guys do?
I think, number one, I'd like to perform the rite on her, so at least when it happens again, she'll be, more clothed, less she, But probably I want to calm her down a bit. I know she's kind of in this kind of semi-conscious state. I will take her, I'll get her on the bed, I'll cover her up, and I'll say, "Oh, so sorry, ma'am. We're here from the KKK, and your husband called us. That's the Kojak's cleaning crew. For some reason, our marketer has spelt cleaning and crew with K. To be honest, they weren't very good marketers, but that's our name. We're just here to clean the house. So we'll take care of everything, and you'll be just fine. We're sorry to intrude. And how is she reacting at all? She's looking kind of in a daze at you, but then she looks over at, I assume, the 2 wolves that are still in the room. She saw Lenexia shift from human form to Hispo form. Oh, don't pay attention. We call him Chewbacca. I mean, it's obvious why. I assume that Lenexia is still in Hispo form, or are you dropping out of that form?
Well, I would have stayed in Hispo form to essentially try and keep her covered and just be a little bit, just essentially wait to make sure that Zev doesn't have his knife anymore. Before coming over.
No, I think he dropped the knife when he tried to save the laptop.
Okay.
Which Fox in the chat has pointed out was saved. And I should remind everyone that the laptop on the search bar.
That shit wouldn't have been happening if I were there. That laptop had been boom boom.
the search bar of the laptop that Zev noticed when he dove for it and it landed in front of him said, "Am I a werewolf?" And so that was what he saw. But yeah, she seems to be, I don't know if under control is the right word, but she appears to be exhausted. She's looking at Zev's common banter in a very confused state. She doesn't appear to be understanding anything he's talking about, which might not be a surprise.
Yeah.
That's how most of my dates end.
We don't either, so it's fine.
So I think what I would do if she's willingly and gone with Zev to lie on the bed, get herself covered up and warm up.
Yeah, I assume they're sitting on the bed. He's used the bedspread to kind of like cover her.
Yeah, so I will still in Hispo form, walk next to the bed, sit down, and then shift so I'm sat cross-legged on the floor. Is that something they could do, or do you shift?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I literally just shift. I'm sat as a Hispo wolf, and then I'm sat as Charlie. Just directly in front of her.
She looks at you and then looks down like at herself, and you can tell that she's kind of like looking like under the blankets, right? She's like, how?
It's okay. It's. We can sort that later. We'll just. I think we just need to maybe answer some questions for each other.
So, what's Fenton doing?
So Fenton is gonna shift back into human form, dust himself off, sort of quickly check himself over, and then look at the other guys on the bed and go, I'm gonna go make tea, and he's gonna toddle off to the kitchen.
Yeah, you continue dusting around. We have to clean.
I thought that was just how normal and like they're just, yeah, I'll go make tea, and Zev's just like, oh yeah, we're just here to clean, it's fine. And I'm just sat there
The
like,
veil.
it's normal.
She looks at Lenexia. She kind of gives Zev a bit of side eye, as if she's still not quite sure, because you're the only one that she's not seen shift, right? So she doesn't know. You assume that maybe she's not sure about you because you're not like her. I don't know. But she looks at Lenexia and looks at Fenton leaving the room, and she's like, do you drink tea?
Yeah, I mean, do you like tea?
Oh, I love tea.
Then yeah, you're good. Nothing has changed. You are still this, you.
Well, she should stay away from chocolate.
As Fenton leaves the room fully, she you can see that she looks troubled for a moment. She says, but is Victor okay? What did you do to Victor? And you can see that her eyes start to turn amber and wolf-like.
I just look up at Zev's like, I think I'm sure he's okay. He'll be downstairs. Nodding at Zev.
She turns and looks at Zev directly in the eyes, and you can see that her features are beginning to look lupine.
Well, first of all, did he have any final wishes?
Is that what you want to say?
It's either that or ask where the shovel is. Look,
he's alive. You know he's alive. He was alive and stable when you left him.
I was just worried because I don't want her to know that she hurt him badly. I don't think she is in that stage. Like, I'm going to say, no, he should be fine. He did suffer a nasty bite, but he doesn't know it. He was protected from the knowledge that you didn't.
But she calms down a bit and she's like, yeah, that's why I've been staying up here. He won't admit that I hurt him.
He can't admit it. He doesn't see it in his head. There is the veil that will protect you, but it won't protect him against you. The true state of what you are can never be revealed, and it must be suppressed as much as possible in order that our kind can live here in this world. There is a suspension of disbelief that happens with normal humans.
Taking a note that this is session 8, and Zev has said our kind.
Yep. I picked up on it as well.
I'm trying to. You must try to suppress this, because what you have with Victor is true and good, and that is what you want to keep for the rest of your life. I couldn't live with myself if I ever hurt anybody, especially not out of rage.
At hearing that, she looks away from you and kind of hangs her head a bit. Her shoulders are just heaving a bit. She begins to weep at you discussing her being a danger to him and how good what they have is. Fenton, you walk down into the kitchen and there is the gentleman that you saw outside with Zev, kind of sprawled on the floor. His hand is injured, but bandaged. He does appear to be breathing normally, but he is unconscious. And I will say, for everyone's benefit who is currently listening to the stream, in case you're not aware, unconsciousness is a very serious neurological condition. Not something to just, say, oh, they're unconscious, it's fine, they'll wake up. Unconsciousness can be bad. It can also, be not that big of a deal. But he is unconscious on the ground. Kind of in your way if you want to make tea. So I don't know if you want to do anything about that.
Yeah, so at first I'll sort of gingerly step over him whilst reaching around in my pockets for my phone. I'm partially looking around for something like some sort of smelling salts or something that I can maybe help wake him up with, but I'm also more interested in trying to find my phone in order to phone Erin and try and fill him in on the situation and wonder where the fuck he is and why he's not here helping.
So, Erin, you get a phone call. I told them last session that as they left to go check on this other potential wolf, you had some messages that you had to deal with. And you have received a return text from your sister. She's doing well. She's trying to settle in. She doesn't really say anything about, him. But
the dickhead.
Yeah. But she gives you the sense that she's sad. She tells you outright that she feels lonely and she misses you. But she assures you she's and okay. So just kind of back and possibly even a call if you're that kind of symptoms.
Yeah.
She seems to be doing okay. She's sad. She's but she doesn't seem like, at least at this moment, that she's in a position backsliding to be a concern. But other than that, she's trying to find some work. She thinks she's got a lead on a couple of different places. She did mention that one of the jobs, the potential jobs that she might take, is organization that heard of Enderon. And they're offering really good pay. It's a decent position. It's an entry position, but the pay is good. The health insurance is fantastic. The hours appear to be decent and kind of within what she would like, and she's also she's leaning towards that, but she does have a few other feelers out, as it were.
I'll try not to sort of obviously put her off the end on one, but I'll just sort of gently encourage her to check all her options first to see if any of the others have got any sort of like anything that grabs her. Make sure you've looked at all options before you make your decision, sort of thing. That'll be my advice to her.
Do you want to make that a manipulation and persuasion roll, or do you just want to keep it light for now?
No, I think I'd like to let her make her own decisions, if you know what I mean, and see how she goes with it. I don't want to try and manipulate her. Just give her some genuine advice while not revealing I've got information about that company.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I should look at all of them before I get too focused on one. And I don't want to go with my first choice and make a mistake again.
It could be that, it looks like it's got everything you want, But then you go to one of these others and you actually have, like, if you get to the second interview, third interview, have a look around the place, it might be like the perfect work environment, or something might grab you about it. It's not just about everything that's on the paper. It's about, you know, feeling that you're going to fit in and be a part of it. You know, you want to enjoy your work, and it's not just about what's on the pay packet.
Yeah, you're right. And I won't rush into anything. I promise.
Okay, keep in touch.
I will. How are you doing? How's
Good.
your new job?
Interesting, very interesting. Lot going on, lot of plates spinning, you could say. Got some good leads, possibly good couple of stories that I'm working on. So yeah, interesting new town where I'm working at the moment. Very interesting indeed. Thanks for asking, sis.
So I was thinking before I take a position, do you think I could come visit?
Maybe we could meet up somewhere. It's quite a long drive. Maybe we could meet halfway and just have a day or two. There's some there's a couple of really nice sort of mountain places on the way in. Excellent walks and things.
You're right. It was silly. Yeah, maybe we can meet somewhere.
It's just a long way, and I know you're working really hard to get these roles, and I won't want to take too much time out of that. But we definitely want to meet up. But yeah, I think I won't want to be too disruptive. Not when you've worked so hard to get to where you are at the moment.
Have you heard anything about?
No, I haven't. And do we really need to be going there?
He doesn't know where I am?
No, not as far as I'm aware. But you tell me if you know anything, wouldn't you?
Oh, I would. I don't want to see him again. You think maybe she's being sincere?
I think I will be checking that one out. Yeah, I'll be checking that one out. What will that be? Wits and investigation, by any chance?
Sure.
Okay. What's my rage at the moment? 2. Oh, I've done wrong dice, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
there's still 50-50 anyway out there. Yeah, so just one success.
Okay. Oh yeah, at least you have the rage dice in there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it. Again, she sounds not distressed, but just kind of generally down, right? You feel like maybe she feels a bit lonely after having, expressed a desire to come see your brother, but also like talking about him. You feel like you don't think she's stupid enough to go back, but I don't know. Maybe she's just a connection, right?
Okay. Look, I'll tell you what. There's this absolutely amazing restaurant down here, like really old style, middle of nowhere sort of cafe where you can just sit and have a really, really nice burger and chips. Come down for a day. Come down, yeah? Come down for a couple of days. It's fine. Come down for a couple of days. Let's just have a bit of time. Yeah, we could talk about the jobs and where you are with that. Tell me a bit more about each of them. We're really interested to hear how things are going. Definitely.
So yeah, and I think at that point, that's when you would get the call through, or the attempt at the call through, that Fenton is trying to contact you.
Okay. Sort of look at it. I go, look, sis, I'll tell you what. If you can, I'll send you some times, train times and things like that, and let me know what works for you. But if you want to get down here in the next few days, that's absolutely fine. Let's set something up. Okay. I've just got another call. I think it's one of my leads on one of these stories.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't want to keep you from your work. Yeah, I'll look over what you sent me, and I'll let you know when it's for me to come down.
Okay. Amazing. Talk soon, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll switch over to Fenton. Yeah? What's up?
Where the hell have you been? You will not believe what has been going on. I thought freaking Zev was dead. He wasn't. Turns out it's fine, but all manner of hell has broken loose. You need to get here quick. How quick can you get here? Where the hell are you? And I proceed to delve into what's happened and where we are.
Right. So whoa. Right. I'm heading towards you right now. I left you for an hour and a half. Yeah. I was just making a few calls, checking a few things, making a few things right back home. An hour and a half. Fenton, that was it. What is going on? How?
Sure, Willie. It feels like it's been freaking 3 days, man. The pack needs you. Get over here. Shit's hit the fan big time. I mean, there's not a fan, but there's enough blood to look like it is a fan. It's mental, all right? We've got a guy cut unconscious on the floor. I don't know if he's dead. He might be. He's breathing, I think. It could be bad. I don't know. There's a woman upstairs. She's naked. She doesn't have any clothes. Sev's got her in a blanket. It's all bad. There's another werewolf, man. We need to get you here. Someone needs to get this shit under control.
Is this Zev's fault?
Maybe. Possibly. Don't know. Quite possibly.
Right, I'm on my way. I'm hanging up. So I'll hang my phone, switch to... Let's just duck into a side alley, switch to wolf form, and just go.
Okay. So
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
I would imagine that Fenton would have informed you of where they were because they're at an address. It's really easy to find.
Yeah.
So it'll take you a little bit to get there, but yeah, I mean, in wolf form, going, running, you're pretty quick. It's not quite as fast as full-on Hispo form, but still, a dog running can cover some ground. So, before long, come into view of looks to be Zev's car with the hood up in a long driveway. It's not all the way up the driveway, and it sure looks like the house Fenton described to you. So in the meantime, while Aaron is traveling to the house, what are the rest of you doing? I know Fenton's making tea.
I'm making tea.
Sure, that body splayed on the table, and you're just like,
You stressed him out, man. You stressed him out.
We all need tea to calm down. I'm searching for the biscuits. Hopefully not finding chocolate ones.
You did say though you were looking for something like smelling salts, right?
So also searching for some sort of smelling salt, something to try and wake this guy up.
As you're looking around the kitchen after you make your call, first of all, you do find they have like a tea kind of like box setup thing. Which is sitting next to their kettle. Very identifiable. You open it up and there's a whole bunch of different bag teas, some loose teas, lots of different flavors.
But they got a bunch of herbal teas, the heathens. Yeah,
pretty much. And they also have one of those. So it's like a self-filling Keurig type tea maker. So it's got like these reusable pods that you can just either put the tea bag in or pack in loose leaf tea and then put the pod in the maker. Very easy, very simple process. So it's easy for you to get some tea running. But also while you're looking around, there is some, cookies, wafers, crackers, things like that in the pantry. I mean, they're not destitute. They have plenty of food. So there's lots of options. Doesn't appear to be anything.
Snacking,
What's that?
As I'm going. I'm a stress eater, snacking as I'm going.
Nice.
It's a stressful situation.
Sure. They don't. I will point out that they don't appear to have anything homemade. It looks like that these two live, and especially if you open up the fridge, looks like these two live by takeout, carry out. neither of them appears to be a cook. Probably the only thing they make in the house is tea.
Why are my kids in your roleplay game?
I like these people.
I'll just say you do a thorough search of the kitchen that includes the cabinets and the cupboards. You do find various chemicals underneath the sink, some of which could potentially be used with an astringent smell to try and wake Victor. If you want to, again,
just pour alcohol on the bandage.
that might do it too. But I would say too, thinking as a member of a pack dealing with a werewolf, you're all werewolves. Is that really something? Could it potentially be a blessing that Victor is unconscious?
It could. It absolutely could.
But it's your
I
call.
want to know we've got the options to wake him up.
Sure.
I want to know we've got the facilities to wake him up should we need to. For the minute, happy leaving him unconscious on the table.
But he does appear to be breathing normally, which is good. Do you have any medicine skill that you could kind of take a closer look at him if you wanted to?
Good question. Not entirely sure. Let's have a look. Logging into the website would have been useful. So that would have been a good plan. I mean, I did before my
Plans within plans within plans.
update. Yep, absolutely. I think I do. God, why does nothing want to load today? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I have that problem sometimes too. You do. You have medicine 1.
Medicine 1. Yep.
Have intellect or intelligence 4. So like you could make a roll to assess the situation and see if there's anything you can do to either make it more comfortable or if there's any concerns you need to worry about. It's up to you if you want to make the roll. Like I don't know what your rage is at.
My rage is a 3.
So, I mean, 3 rage with a dice pool of 6, it'd be 3 and 3. You could make a situation worse. Failure,
Yeah,
We
so
haven't
like worst
burned
case,
down the
I like
house
this
yet,
thing,
so-
right, you know, yeah, it's all good. I can't actually. It's not 3 and 3. I can't actually see because of the way this website is overlaid. Hang on. Oops.
We'll accept results from the first 3, and then the first 3. Just roll a whole bunch.
You know, just where it overlays and you can't quite see it. I think that's 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
That works.
Good. If you guys have seen that provided and it's good, then we're all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
God.
Mine's still loaded.
So 4 successes. Yeah, I get that sometimes too. I had to shut down some plan. So yeah, 4 successes. You look him over. So you're getting the sense at this point that he's less. So he is unconscious, but he's not, like, it's not a serious condition. You feel like he will come out of it with time. You may want to move him to a more comfortable position, which I'll allow you to do without any particular roll. I don't know if they have a nice couch. There's a nice easy chair you can move him into. But he looks like he is stable. You also feel like you could very easily, with the tools around you, bring him to if you need to. So it's kind of up to you.
Okay, so I'll move him into like onto a sofa or if it's like a sort of like a lazy-boy type chair or an armchair or something, just so he's comfortable. Hopefully, when he comes around, he'll just think that he fell asleep, you know, and maybe that he was just a bit woozy and he just sort of passed out.
He may very well think he just fell asleep, considering it was technically a werewolf that worsened his condition. So
yeah. Absolutely. And then I'll go back to making the tea. I know that there's the three guys upstairs. There's myself, and Aaron's on his way. So I'll make 5 cups of tea.
Okay. So their tea set only has. Sure. Their tea set only has 2 nice cups that are next to the kind of Keurig thing. That obviously are used by these two on a regular basis. I mean, these cups are clean, but they're also clearly stained from use of tea over time. But as you look through the cupboards, you can find some small, like, highball glasses, or maybe there might be like a plastic cup from like a local like pizza parlor or things like that. You can find enough things to bring additional tea. So yeah, you can put together 5 cups of tea, and they have a tray. Be able to put everything on. Did you inform Aaron of where to come into the house? You know, there's an entrance upstairs, and
I would have given him a full rundown where we are, how to get in, just so he's fully informed.
As you're approaching the house, Aaron, you know that there is a back porch, kind of an upper deck porch, that a stair goes up to that leads directly into the bedroom. There is also a first floor entry into both the kitchen and the first floor entry in the home itself. And according to Fenton, they're all unlocked and accessible. So it's really kind of up to you. But he made it sound like everybody was going to be in the bedroom upstairs. Now, before we get to you arriving, and we'll have Fenton kind of heading up the stairs with the tray of tea, what are Zeev and Lenexia doing, in say 10 minutes or so alone in the room with this woman?
Just quickly, Fenton wants to throw a silver teaspoon out the window as well for Crow.
Oh.
Just yeet it out the window. Just yeet a spoon out the window.
Okay.
Just making tea and then yeet.
Yep.
So,
if you don't throw a spoon out the window. That's what everybody does, right?
I'm just gonna make a quick check here. So Crow is apparently very intently aware of what's going on in the house. And as you yeet the spoon out the window, you just see a flash of black dive down from above and snatch it out of the air and fly back up.
Go GoPro!
But yeah.
So,
well,
the next year is Zev.
It's just.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna bring her into our, you're gonna make her a member of our pack? What are your intentions? I mean, she's clearly confused and dangerous.
She's only dangerous because she's confused and can't control her emotions right now, which I'm sure it happens to everyone when they first transition and whatnot. Like, human form is a lot more emotional, a lot more confusing than most.
Agree to disagree. What? But so, I mean, she needs guidance. She's gonna need a mentor, and you're a little bit on the.
I need some clarification. Are you guys just talking like this with her just sitting in between you?
Well,
or have you moved?
I thought she was kind of off and drifting in and out. So this is.
Oh no! I mean, she's still very awake. Like she.
Okay.
You need to keep in mind at this point she's as resilient as any of you are. So while she might be having an emotional moment, she's not unaware of what's happening.
In that case, I would have I play that I said it and I did it. So it
sure,
would have been
and that's
quiet.
Fine. So she looks. I just wanted to make sure. So as you were talking, she'll look up and she says, "Pack, are you related? Are you family?"
Yeah.
She looks between the two of you who look very different from each other biologically, right? And seems confused.
We're a community. I think of it like a community.
Oh.
But in order for us, Well, we'll wolfish. What?
Sam is werewolf-ish.
We're humans. We live here
Ish.
on Earth. But we need to know what happened to you. What event sparked this for you?
It was weird. I don't remember it fully. There was a storm. We're at the grove. Something hit me. And she pulls the blankets aside and looks down at herself, and she's like, it's not there. Something dug into me. Something cut and took something. And then everything was hyper acute, and I was angry, and I stood up and I ran. And I remember seeing my house. Victor he didn't know why. He said he was gone. He accused me of this. And then I got angry again. He said, did I hurt him? Is he okay?
I'm sure he'll be fine. He believes that he had a shop accident. And nothing you can say will convince him otherwise.
Is he infected? Did I curse him?
That's
Not sure it works that way.
no.
She kind of deflates a little bit at hearing that. Why me then?
It's a part of who you are. It's always been a part of who you are. It happened to protect you. You were attacked. You were hurt. You were very gravely wounded. So the change came to protect you.
So at this point, I'm assuming that you were in a bit of a hurry, Aaron. How are you going to enter the house? Are you going to enter?
I'll do a quick recce around the outside first, and then
Yeah, you can see Fenton in the kitchen, holding a tray, heading into the living room, then up some stairs.
Okay, well, as he's opened the window to yeet the spoon out, I'll just jump in through the window then.
Okay.
Yeah, and as I land, just take a quick look around, and if all's clear, switch back into human form.
Yeah, I mean, you see sleeping, unconscious person on the couch, but other than that, it's clear.
I'll sort of look upstairs, like quizzingly, and then I'll just lean into this person that's sort of passed out or whatever they are doing, and just have a quick look over him and see what I think.
So he's an older gentleman. He's probably in his 50s. He looks like he's fit in the way that somebody who works outdoors and works with their hands is. So he doesn't really have an athletic build. He might even have a bit of a soft torso, as it were, but still large in the shoulders. Looks like his arms are kind of rugby and strong. He's got a bit of a farmer tan going on that you can tell just from the shirt he's wearing. But yeah, it seems like a relatively quote-unquote normal person. You can smell blood on him, but that's easily identifiable as the dressing on his left hand that looks fresh and is in fact becoming soaked with fresh blood. But it's holding, so it's not like trying to imply that he's going to be out, or it's just he's moving.
I'll give him a quick check for ID.
Okay, so yeah, he does have a wallet in his pocket. You pull it out, and it's got his driver's license. Victor Harcourt, lists this location as his address.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'll head upstairs then.
Okay. So shortly behind Fenton, you both come into the room and see, Zev sitting on the bed next to this woman who is mostly covered in what appears to be the duvet hastily kind of thrown around her from the bed. Pardon me, excuse me. Or comforter. And Lenexia is sitting cross-legged. Lenexia, obviously, and probably Zev would have heard both coming upstairs, having somewhat more refined senses than the average person. And yeah, she seems distraught. She seems tired. And it's Hannah Harcourt. You've seen her in the pictures.
Okay. I'll grab a cup of tea. And just sort of like look quizzically at Fenton.
Yeah, I'll just, obviously as the others come in, I'll just look at her and just remind, in a calming voice, and just say, look, I know this is all new and confusing, but we have all been through this, so we can help you find a mentor. We understand it is very difficult and things are very hazy and confusing and angry right now, but we can do what we can. We are trying to make sure what happened to you before you turn doesn't happen again.
She says, it was strange. Ricard offered each of us a drink from a canteen he gave us. Celebratory drink. Said the work was almost done. I don't know what he was talking about, but each of us took.
I fucking did. As I'm saying that, Erin's saying that. I bet he fucking did.
I remember seeing everyone else get unsteady and then fall, but I ran to Joy's side to see if he was okay. It tasted weird what he gave us, but I was still okay. But I ran to check on Joy, and then that's when something hit me. Must have knocked me out.
Yeah.
Tasted like.
Yeah, I think everyone had been gone a few days. I think that was why your husband was maybe angry when you came back.
2 days. It was as a wolf for a few days?
I mean, we think so.
It's entirely possible. The first change can last a minute, an hour, or days before you come to terms with what's happened, or don't come to terms with it. But until you turn back into your original form and then try and process what's happened.
What about everybody else? Are they okay? Did they wake up?
They don't carry the same genes as we do.
But are they okay?
No, they didn't get the protection or the
They're all dead.
regeneration.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
There's no point sugarcoating this. They're all dead.
She turns and looks directly at Fenton, and her gaze becomes serious, and she says, "They're all dead?"
And all those that drank, yeah, there's 5. Oh,
Yeah.
was it 5
Fenton,
in her grave? I can't remember. Or was it 4?
No, it's 4, including her. She's the 5th.
Okay. Yeah, the other 4 didn't make it.
So Fenton nods.
There was 6 of them.
There were 6 of you?
Card, Joy, Mitchell.
We'll stop you right there. I think Ricard may be the cause of everything that happened in that grove.
So you can see her body swell. She's not going into full Krynos, but you're all very clear that she's going into Glabro form right now, and her voice kind of takes on that edge of a growl. Jake, you're muted. if you're trying to say
Resist. Pull yourself back. Come back to us. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll sort of
learn to control.
I'll lower myself down a bit, like lower to the floor, and like beckon for everybody else to kind of do the same. You're among friends here, and like try and reduce the risk in the room, the threat sort of thing.
Oh yes, I know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. And in human form, I roll over on my back and I expose my neck.
Okay, that might be a bit much. But is everybody else kind of trying to reduce your... I mean, Lenexia is already sitting on the...
I think all I would do is probably reach out.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think I would just reach out as everybody's like getting low and we're trying to stay calm. Just reach out as like, not touch her or anything, just like on the bed, like reaching out towards her, but for her to carry on, make the move and make the connection. So it's that kind of, in a weird way, it's symbolic, but not like it's a calm down of like trying to get closer. I see.
Well, I mean, I think 3 of you is enough, and it's not like she would definitely becoming aggressive towards you, but she does stand. She doesn't shift back to Homid. She's definitely in Glabro form now. And she goes to her closet, just ignoring all of you, and pulls out, it looks like she reaches for actually her husband's side of the closet and grabs like some sweats and a big hoodie of his, because he is significantly larger than she is, right? So it looks like she's present enough in mind to recognize that she needs some bigger, baggier clothing. Grabs a pair of his boots, some hiking boots. She's like, I need to... I need to find him.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying it. That's how we ended up finding you. We're looking for others that have been to the site, and we're trying.
You know where he might be?
I know where he lives.
I look over to you. There's like that place is empty. Is it Fenton and Zev that went to his place?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that living.
We found, some members of us here found some very strange things in his house, which just evidences everything that appears to have happened to you and your friends. But he's not there. He's long gone.
I'll wait for him.
But between us, I believe we have the power to find him. And believe me, we want to find him.
Yeah. Watch out for a 3-legged dog. And I'm not being cryptic.
So she turns back towards all of you. She has also grabbed a baseball bat from the closet. And she, like the clothes that she took from her husband's side, they fit her right now, but even those are straining a bit. But she says, well, I'll find him. And she starts to head for the door. Well, to the ground floor.
I would say that last to come upstairs, I'll not fully block it, but I'll kind of step halfway into it. So if she really wants to get past me, she can. But I'll just say, look, there's a few things we can talk about that might make this easier. And rushing off on your own is not the way. Is not the way to solve this, because we have a feeling he may be one of us.
He may be one of you.
No.
One of us, and I'll point to her as well.
Oh.
Now, this is not as simple as you might be thinking from the initial explanation. We here are a pack. We, as the well, I didn't hear that, sorry, I was sorry, use that. We are a pack. We work together. We have a reason for being here, and that reason we believe is a good reason. But we're convinced that there are others that are doing things for not so good reasons, and this is one of them. So don't think of what we are as just we are good, we are bad, we are something different to human, but we have the same feelings, the same emotions, we can have the same desires, the same drivers, and that means that ultimately some of us will tread a darker path, and we feel that this man is on that darker path.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, as Aaron was explaining that, I think on the whole, with the whole explanation, like what we are and fully explaining it, I think for the next year, she's going to like change into lupus form, try and slink towards the door, and once Aaron's finished his speech and it's like taken in, and because she's in glabra form, she can hear what it's saying wolf, can't she?
Well, even if she were in human form, she could understand you now.
So I said basically all I say once that is done is I just shout and howl, "We are wolf," and just carry on the howl going, just to try and bring her in, kind of thing.
Okay. Make a. Ooh, let's do charisma and persuasion for that.
Okay.
Or no, you know what? Since you have it, let's make it charisma and animal ken. I like that. I mean, she's not technically an animal, but you're all animals as well, so.
Animal ken. Okay. Let's see if this one went for that. The animal ken, it says aid, but I'm not entirely sure what that means, but.
That would be if you're trying to get a natural animal to support you or assist you in some way.
That's fine. So
I don't know that I would apply it in this case. So
I don't have a lot of charisma.
that's fine.
Success.
Okay, so with one success, you get her to stop. You give pause, and I think that's going to give you anyone else an opportunity to try more, to try and sway her. I think what we'll do though is we'll take our first break, give you guys a chance to think about what your goal is with her, and then maybe we'll come back in with her having paused on her motion to leave, and we'll deal with that one. So, yeah, you've given her pause. She looks, angry, unsurprisingly. But she has stopped. Lenexia and Aaron are kind of in between her and the door.
I'm gonna go up to her and physically put my human, because I'm in human form, hand on her and say, "Look, you're not in this alone. Remember that. There is strength in numbers. That is the whole essence of why we survive as a pack. Let's just calm down and see what we can do about this together." I can do serious role playing.
Think of your husband. Yeah. We're all here. He's safe.
See.
He's downstairs. He's safe. Yeah. If you go running off on your own.
Thinking your husband was a good. Okay, so I want one of you to make. Well, are we trying to, again, is this just straight up persuasion, or are you trying to manipulate her? Because it's going to determine what
I am. Without even looking at what my stats are, I'm trying to manipulate her, for sure.
You're trying to
I'm trying to persuade her. I'm not trying to. It's a bad idea to try and manipulate her, I think, in my opinion.
To be fair, though, Jake started off first, so I'm going to let Jake make a charisma and manipulation check. You're going to get from Erin's interjection about thinking of her husband, which was well timed. I'm going to give you a bonus of 2 dice. You still need to roll your rage dice, though, as well, obviously, every time. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking for manipulation.
At the top is what it's social attributes.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so in the big old long list, it should be in the middle
okay,
somewhere.
Sorry, manipulate. Okay, it says. So yeah, I wasn't sure we take both of them there. So that's
yes, manipulate.
By the way, I think I do get my willpower back at some point, right?
Oh yes, it's a new session, so everybody would have regained their willpower equal to their composure resolve. Nobody broke any of their tenets last session, so yeah.
We'll do the roll first now with my 2 bonus. God help me.
I believe in you.
Oh, that's how you do that
gosh,
shit.
Your rage is high. It's high.
When did you get 4 rage? What?
He's you know.
I suppress everything. You can't see it. Again, I take
That's
the rage. And
But that's exactly how the system works. Is he's not shifting. He's not using his gifts, so he's not losing his rage. Like, which is brilliant because that's gonna make him pop at some point. You get one more point of rage.
Fucking time, Mom.
Yeah. I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that your last point of rage gain is going to coincide with what is essentially the big conclusion, but we'll see. Because that would be hilarious. All right, so 4 successes.
Likely it'll happen, that when I'm in the hospital and my wife is giving birth, and I discover that the child's not really mine.
Oh wow, yeah, that might do it. All right, so she's still clearly angry, but it stops her. And she's like, "What do you mean, part of the pack? Am I just supposed to become your friend? I don't know you people."
We're not trying to force anything.
AAA, we're a support group for each other, but more.
Well, and I mean, no offense, but like, how do I know you're any different from Ricard if you say he's like us, like you?
He's not like us.
Not like
Because you're still alive.
And if we think of it, Ricard, maybe he's the way he is because he didn't have a supportive pack. And in order to make sure you don't go down that same road he did, if you were to join our pack or accept our invitation to you, that could help you live a normal life without these urges to go out and do these things that Ricard is obviously trying to do. I mean, we are powerful, and the taste of power can be too much for some people.
So again, looking at Zev, she says, "Live a normal life. Can I recover from this? Is this something that will go away?"
It's a part of you, and it will always be a part of you. But if you also remember the human part of you, you can keep both in balance, keep both in check. Take advantage of the extra power that you have without suffering negative consequences of having bigger power. Stay humble, stay true. Remember our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
So at that, she kind of smirks. She's like, I'm
probably not, Erin's probably not hiding this very well. I'm just looking at him incredulously. That is like selling this pipe dream of that she can live a normal life and just ignore everything that she is now. I'm just like literally like slack-jawed at it.
in Zev's defense, regardless of what she believes, regardless of what she believes, I mean, spirits exist, so who knows? Maybe there is some power in religion.
Not that bit. I mean, the whole thing about she can have a normal life and all
sure.
sort of stuff. I'm just like, what?
Well, right now, think of the children.
Yeah.
So she puts the bat down and kind of leans it in the corner of like between the door and the wall, right? And then she looks at Aaron and Lenexia, her in the door and says, "Look, and she deflates, right? And she kind of takes human, and she says, "I'm not going to go anywhere. I need to go check on the hospital."
I'll immediately move out of the way.
So yeah, she heads downstairs. Follow her?
Definitely follow her down, yes.
Oh yeah, I'll be following her. I'm literally
Yeah,
just
I
like
think so. Yeah.
the dog
Just in
around.
case she murders her husband.
Planning, proper planning,
Fetch the tea, Fenton. Fetch the tea.
or any other letter of the
tea.
alphabet that she wants.
Not something you hear in many werewolf games. Fetch the tea. So yeah, she comes down the stairs and she sees him on the couch, and she immediately runs to his side and drops to her knees and takes his uninjured hand. And you get the sense that she doesn't even want to acknowledge the bandaged hand. And she just says,
Guys, a little privacy for her now, I think is appropriate.
Yeah,
What are we gonna?
I'll sort of just sort of like give like a nudge and a wink to Fenton and Lynexia and sort of head to the door and head outside.
Guys, what are we gonna do? She is way too emotional to have any control. I mean, her actions could expose us as well. Don't you see? This is that we try to control her now.
"Where are you guys talking about this? In the kitchen?"
No, we're going to duck out the front door.
Oh, duck outside.
Well,
Okay.
no. We said we're giving her a private moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Guys, because she was with her husband, so we want.
Sure, I just want to know where you are.
Yeah. I think control is a strong word, Zev, and it's going to get us into problems if we try that route. I think we just need to be here to help her and educate her, is my thought. While we're still trying to solve this problem with Ricard, we need to sort this Ricard problem out, because that'll give her closure as well.
Yeah, but she's ready to go hunt out this Ricard guy now on her own. I mean,
To be perfectly honest, I was half ready to let her go and follow her and help her. So
Yeah, I don't blame her for wanting to do it. She is more invested in it than we do, but she is too emotional. But I mean, human emotions are volatile. So when you add Werewolf into the mix, then yeah. But maybe we could get her in contact with a mentor.
I will take on that role for her.
So, while you guys are on, I'm assuming just chilling on the front porch.
yes, on the front porch, yeah.
You hear from above, and if you look up, you see Crow just kind of on the roof part that's over the roof.
Does he have a freaking silver spoon in his beak?
He does. Well, no, it's next to him on the roof for now, because he hasn't had a chance to take it back to his place. And he looks at Lynexia and he says, "Big boy coming.
Big boy?
Big boy."
The hamburger joint?
How close?
Coming from behind, from the woods.
Okay.
Boy coming.
Not dangerous. Big, bear.
Oh, it's a bear. Sounds so out of place. Is it? It's coming close. Wait.
Going towards the house.
I'm going. On that, I am going to do the see senses thing.
Okay.
It's called penumbral. Yeah, penumbral.
Penumbral senses.
Yeah.
So you spend a willpower and intelligence and wisdom. Intelligence. Oh, I'm done.
Would Fenton like to do that as well?
Yeah. So what do we need to do to
You, so penumbral senses, you're going to spend a point of willpower, and you're going to roll intelligence plus your wisdom. Rage 3. And if successful, that will allow you to perceive the umbra or the scene and interact with it, actually.
intelligence and wisdom? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce.
Wisdom.
Is one enough there for Lenexia? Need to.
It just says against different people local gauntlet.
Oh, local gauntlet. Okay, yeah. So, one, do you feel like you're almost there? Would you like to spend a point of willpower to re-roll 3 of your regular dice?
Yes, I will. So I'll spend a one and then 3 regular, yeah?
Yep. You can't re-roll the.
Ooh.
Nice. Nope.
And you can see the moon landing.
No.
Fenton definitely can see the moon landing.
You can taste colors.
There's the rainbow.
You mean
Okay.
the moon landed?
So, the gauntlet is relative, but unfortunately in the Nixie I couldn't focus quite enough. Maybe you're still concerned about Hannah's state. Maybe that's interfering with your perception. But Fenton, as you peek into the Umbra, you can see a couple of things. First of all, the house becomes mostly transparent, which is not uncommon. In a lot of cases, human construction doesn't always necessarily exist in the Umbra in the same space that it would in the real world. Although sometimes it does. It depends on how infused the spirit is. But in this particular case, the house becomes somewhat transparent, which even from outside allows you to see Hannah, who is kind of a beacon at this point, giving off a lot of spiritual energy, was clearly weeping, holding her husband as he rests on the couch. And you can see that her husband is actually kind of resting on a bough of leaves and vines, very natural, healthy-looking growth that her husband is reclining on. But he looks muted. He appears in the Umbra in shades of gray and umber, kind of not active.
Mundane.
Exactly. Which could be an effect of him just being human. It could be effect of him being unconscious and thus not currently active, as it were, within the Umbra. Because humans do register, not as much as some of it. But then because the house has become somewhat transparent, you can see this form, this ursine form approaching the house from the rear. And it is a large brown bear. It's not a grizzly bear, which you can usually tell from like the hump in their back, but it is a brown bear. What differs though is this bear is probably twice the size of the average brown bear. So if it were to stand up, it would be probably 15 feet tall. It is a massive bear. And you can tell that it's a spirit. It is not a real bear. There's not a real bear approaching the house from in the real world. So it approaches the house. It passes through the boundary of where the house would actually be, and seems intent on approaching Hannah and her husband. And as it walks up, it seems like it shrinks a little bit, almost as if it were trying to be accommodating, and it rests as much of its head as it can on her shoulder. And you get the sense that it's whispering to you. And then you can see her beginning to mutter something that the bear may be communicating to her.
Nice.
And then there's a transference of energy into her husband. And he regains consciousness.
How does she look?
She looks confused, but happy.
Mm.
And then the bear just kind of wanders off back the way it came.
How bizarre. Okay, and am I the only one that would have seen that?
You are.
Okay.
Now the rest
So
and you could have described what you're seeing to everyone else, but you're the only one who could actually see it.
Yeah.
Well, you and Crow. Crow can see
Yeah.
it as well, but that's not surprising. Crow's a spirit. Well, kinda. He takes physical form, but so you hear some muffled conversation coming from the living room now.
Mm-hmm.
Going on, Fenton. You seem a
Okay.
bit transfixed there.
So I think I will explain to everyone what I just saw happen, and then look around and say, "Her husband's awake again. I think if we're going to get Hannah to do anything for us or tell us anything, now's our time to get back in there and get some information and maybe get her to calm down. But ultimately, I feel like she could be a help in our fight against Ricard when we do find him. Let's get her on our side now while we've got the chance." And I got to head back through the door without waiting for a reply from anybody.
I won't say anything, but I'll shake my head. But yeah, I won't stop you. I'll just, yeah.
So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and tell. So it looks like my car is all repaired now. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
She turns and holds up a hand to you and says, "You don't. It's fine. I told him that you're friends from a support group."
Okay. And we will be in touch because we wouldn't want to make our next moves without you.
And Victor looks at Zev specifically and says, "Why didn't you just say that she was going to a support group?" Yeah.
Because she didn't tell you yet, and it wasn't my place to say. It was her place to tell you. And I hope that you don't think ill of me, but I was just respecting your wife's privacy at that point.
I understand. And as you're talking to him, you notice that he's undoing the bandage on his hand. And his hand is healed.
Oh, and
There's
I'm
no-
shocked. I'm like, holy crap, I am Magic Max.
Somehow you know it
I did see that.
enough. Well, but Fenton describes it to you, so you
Yeah.
know enough to. Um, your guess is that that was first. Maybe she just kind of instinctually called the spirit. It's her first interaction with the spirit world, the spirit teaching her a gift. Used to her husband.
Is
Right.
do you know if this bear spirit is connected to any of the tribes? Like, do we know much about any of the tribes that we're not in?
So you know that there are patron spirits that each of the tribes revere, and those spirits, you know that there is a hierarchy of spirits, right? And some spirits are more powerful than others, even if they may share the same. So, as it stands, there is a powerful bear spirit out there that is known to a lot of people. It's not currently a patron to any tribes.
Okay.
None of the known tribes, anyway. But your feeling, particularly Fenton, who saw it, this is just a bear spirit from the forest. Happened to hear the passing cry for help, or happened to be passing by, heard a cry for help from one of your kind, and spirits often will attempt to assist you, particularly when there's great need. And so, yeah, your sense from what Fenton described is that this is just a bear spirit that happened.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pass her the number for our mentor.
I thought Jake wanted to be her mentor.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody in this group wants me to be her mentor, so I'm not stopping it.
That's fair.
I'm not stopping you. I'm not stopping you.
I dropped the hints, but if Lenexia is doing what she's doing, makes perfect sense.
So you don't have a mentor in terms of an advantage, like a character-related thing. But by mentor, do you mean like one of your contacts in the Sept in Denver?
Yeah, like
Okay.
the one we call the one that helps get together and stuff. That kind of. But
Sure.
it's basically I'm passing it on, and just saying, this number, if you give them a call, they may be able to point you in a more direct group.
By mentor, she means anybody but Zev.
No, I'm like this. I'm doing this so she could like find a tribe rather than a pack.
So the person, if you wanted to document this for yourself, the person that you would give her the number would be a Vanessa Gomez, who is the Scar leader for the Sept of the Broken Stone. The Scar leader does most of the pack interactions and forming and things like that. So that is the person that you would give her the number for. And I imagine you would tell her, this is us. This is someone who's been like us for a very long time, is respected within the community. But, you probably don't have to go into a lot of detail as far as what it's accepted, all that stuff, because even you're still learning some of those.
That's why I think it's probably why at this stage it's a little bit easier to say it in more mundane words.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, essentially it's just this person will help you find a more focused
Find your
group.
way.
Yeah.
She says, I can't go after him if he might. She steps aside with you. She doesn't want to say this in front of her husband, obviously. But she says, I need to protect her. I can't. if he comes for us, I won't be able to stop him. But I won't get in your way.
Thank you.
Or, sorry,
That's fine.
I said that wrong. I'll be able to stop myself. But
Yeah. If it comes for you, you gotta protect yourself and your family. But I mean, if you remember anything else from that night, I know it's hard to look back, but if you remember anything else that could help us, we have a couple more leads to follow, but the sooner we can wrap this up.
he had something. I thought it was just, at first when we arrived, I thought it was just maybe some rubbish from the grove piled in the center. But after I woke up, I saw it. He'd uncovered it. It looked like a figure. A person made of muscle and bone and body parts. It wasn't complete, but almost. I was in the edge of the woods. I watched it. He covered it again, up and left with it. But I never saw. I don't know if he's like us. He never changed. He was always just him.
Yeah. It's just one of the possibilities because of what we've heard and seen and read. But yeah,
There's a much wider world out there. And what we are is just a small part of it.
Yeah.
And he could be any one of a number of things. And
after I woke up, he smelled like rot.
Like rot?
Yeah. Like a pile of plant matter left out to decay. Like mulch gone bad. Like...
Huh.
That really helps, thank you. I think
At that, Fenton will lean over, look at her and say, if anything happens, if you need help quickly, how? And we will hear.
She
And
kind
we will
of
come.
shakes her head and chuckles like, really?
it works.
really.
Fenton just says, you're not alone anymore. And then makes his way back out the door.
Yeah, I'll follow Fenton out.
Jake, you're muted.
All of a sudden, I feel more alone than ever.
Oh, Jake.
And I
Oh,
follow.
Jakey.
And I follow.
Oh, buddy. Why don't you go ahead and make a Hirano check for me?
All right. I have 1 point in Hirano. How do I make that check?
Okay, so you're going to roll one die. It's always the number, the dice that you roll. So it's a check die, or you can use a regular die. It doesn't matter. But you roll as many dice as you have, or minimum one. So you have one, so you roll one die.
Sure. All black.
Awesome. So you gain a point of her
Okay.
as the sense of despair at what you are just kind of digs a deeper hold in you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for
So amazing. The Zev story is the tragic story, I think.
I think the object is that I'm supposed to fill out all the dots on all these things. And once I do, I win the game, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's it.
great.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you were trying. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Winning.
All right.
As everybody else leaves,
Yep.
I'm gonna give her my number
Okay.
and my human name, and
Okay.
just be like,
Which I think is the first person to introduce themselves.
yeah.
We don't need names.
On purpose.
Well, at least you gave her your phone number, not your howl frequency.
And I was just like, look, you can message me, find me. I think, I know you've got the number for your own tribe. But I mean, I can still be here, you know, we can still be friends. We can just be, if you follow a different path, we can still be a pack. We can still be friends. And I think that'd be really good for us both, you know?
Yeah. She smiles a little and says, "Thank you. Give me a few days, but I might. It'd be nice to see someone else like me."
Yeah. No, you take time. I mean, we've all been through the same thing. We've got the same DNA, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, just remember you're not alone, okay? And just like with that, just like toddle out the door.
So as you're the last person leaving, why don't you go ahead and give me a wits and awareness check?
Okay.
Unless you're intentionally leaving the room facing her the whole time and backing out, which would be really creepy, and I don't suggest you doing.
Oh no, I think it'll be literally like it's like
Just gonna leave
like,
normally. Yeah.
A
Okay.
massive smile, turn around, and just go away. It's like she's really impressed. Like she's Linux is like really happy right now to find someone, and they've been able to calm her down, and she might have a new friend and a new pack member, and awareness. That's 5.
A new pack member or a replacement pack member? I mean, where are we going with this?
Honestly, Lenexia, I think
Harsh.
you're going to invite her into your
Harsh.
club.
I mean, Linux is happy to have a collection, you know.
Okay, 3 successes. So as you leave, you notice that she gets up and is. Pardon me. You can hear her following you. And you hear 2 things as you are, assumingly now at this point, walking down the path towards Zev's car, because I assume you're all going to leave where or another. You hear the door lock, and you also hear the racking of a shotgun. And you remember seeing a shotgun kind of leaned in the corner close to the door. Which, you know, not terribly strange living out in the wood, or close to the woods like this. People will often use such a weapon to keep bears away, things like that. But you definitely hear the racking of that shotgun as you
So as I catch up with the others, it's just like, do you think they're gonna be okay?
Absolutely not.
What? I don't understand what happened
Too early
to Victor.
to say.
The best thing we can do for her at the moment is remove this threat.
Well, I mean, if it comes to the house, I think she's more than prepared for it. No, saying like, I mean, she can instantly. She's still in the phase where she's instantly can go to Giant Wolf, and
A rage will protect her.
and they've got a shotgun, so maybe it's not one of us. That'll definitely work.
I mean, Fenton, as big and fierce and experienced as he is, couldn't even lay not even a jaw on her throat. I mean, she was very powerful.
Hey, look, I wasn't in Krynos form. It's not my fault, man.
To be fair, it was wolf. It was normal form versus war form. So
Krynos me a river.
Wow.
Okay, so what now?
Well, my next intent was always to, after following this lead, to follow the ascent to the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is everybody else on board with that?
Yeah, but are we going by car, or like if there's a risk you guys are going to turn them, I'm going to put, the towels on the seats before you guys come to sit down in my car.
There wouldn't be a risk that we turn.
It's not slimy, Zev.
I think he's suggesting in case you have, like a bowel accident,
No, I wasn't, but that's funnier than I was. So,
That's how I.
So as he's putting these covers on, he just says, "So do you like this car, then, Zev?"
Uh-oh.
It's you have to understand, one of the great things it is about being human is the technology. If we could preserve technology and protect it and help it foster and grow, there is hope for us as humans. We have
It's there to do a job. We don't have to worship the technology. It's there to do a job.
And
there
it can't
to do a
do
job.
its job if you break it. It will
Fine. I'll just get
Key
in
on
and
it.
shut the door.
Humans are not all that great. Wrecking your own planet.
Yeah, it's true, but they're still better than the alternative Linux. Yeah, remember that always.
No, it's not. It's not a... No.
Agree to disagree.
No. I would never have chosen to be human if I could.
I think now would be an interesting time as you're heading into the mountains to check out the secondary location. Just to give you some information and also to build up Zev, I think, a little bit. Zev, you recall, and maybe you'll decide to pass this on to the rest of your pack, who maybe have not been taught as much as you have about certain things. But in your tribe, when you all work with and worship Spider, you spent some time learning about a period of time called, oh, did I just forget the name of it? I may be using the wrong word. Ergium? Regardless, there was a time that is spoken of in your tribe, and the rest of you have maybe heard about this as well, so maybe Zev is just droning on and trying to extol virtues of humanity and the downfalls of being Guru. But there was a time when the Guru thought that humanity wasn't that great, and so they went through a series of purges. And there's a reason why historically tales of werewolves, particularly packs of werewolves, are terrible and horrifying to most humans, because there was a time when your kind went out of their way to cull the human herds, as it were. Thousands, and some think even hundreds of thousands of human lives were sacrificed to whittle away the herd of humanity that was being seen as a looming threat by the werewolves of the day. And while none of you were involved in that, these are things that happened centuries ago. There's a lesson to be taken from that, that yes, humans are dangerous perhaps in some situations, but very few Guru now believe that humans don't have a place. They do have a place, and they do have value. They're not a herd to be thinned, as once was done. And in fact, the tribes that still believe that humans should be thinned are not very well accepted within the standard Guru nation. There's a reason why humans see werewolves as monsters. And perhaps Zeev's tribe, or the people that he spoke with as he came to terms with what he is, or tried to, pounded that point home strongly. There's a reason why when a human sees a werewolf in Crinus form, the immediate response is fear. And it's not the veil. It's genetic memory.
And Lenexia, what you need to remember is that our human side isn't our weakness. We are privileged to have a human side.
No, I don't see it as privilege. It wasn't something that I asked for. It wasn't something that I needed. The wolf I accept, wholly and wholeheartedly and completely. But the human, no.
The same could be said for us and the wolf form that we have now inherited. It's two sides of the same coin.
Well, there must be room in your life for both. And I would hope that you would take delight in your human forms as much as your wolf form. Both present.
I had a wolf form. And then I got a human form. And then a brand new wolf form.
Wait, you mean you were bitten as a child by a human?
Random human roaming the woods picked up a poor wolf pup and bit it.
Then brought it home and brought him up as human.
Lenexia is a were-human. A wereman.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. I don't generally talk about this because you don't accept your wolf, but I grew up as a wolf. My human didn't come out until I turned for the first time.
I accept my wolf. I just recognize what it brings out in me. And when and why. I mean, for all this anger and rage to build up in me to bring me to something like that, how could that be something that I want to embrace?
Oh, you know what's really funny that I'm going to point out? Maybe you're already thinking this, Tony, but just for this conversation, if you haven't thought of it, Lenexia didn't have all of that anger and rage until the human part of her awakened.
Well, I've said that. That's why I've said it a few times. Like, the human emotions is really, really difficult because.
Yeah, as far as you're concerned, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's. Yeah, look, it's. We all had our own journeys. We all had different journeys, but mine was different from most. My lupus, as it's called, that was the only form I knew for the first many years of my life.
I have to admit, it's very difficult for me to even imagine what that could be like. To be an animal and then have access to... I don't want this to sound condescending, but so much more. I mean, the way that we're brought up as humans is that humans are the dominant species. We have a soul. We have evolved to be the top of the food chain and have society and all that kind of thing. And yes, we know from all our studies and watching far too much David Attenborough at 11 o'clock at night that wolves have their society and they're highly evolved and that, but I don't say this the wrong way, but we've always thought that we're better than the animals. And then for you to now be telling us that you were that animal, but we're now the same thing, it's very difficult for me to get my head around, to be perfectly honest.
I mean,
all right, hang on one second before Lenexia responds.
Yeah.
After Aaron says that, Aaron, are you shotgun or are you in the back seat?
In the back.
In the back, okay. So you make that statement, and then maybe you glance out the side window of the car. Because it sounds like you were having a hard time saying that to Lenexia, knowing now that she was a wolf first. And I feel like there was some contriteness there. Like, obviously, you weren't trying to offend.
I wasn't trying to offend,
Sure.
but I probably was offending. But
Well,
I was
yeah,
really trying not to, but obviously was
Sure,
doing.
sure. But at that moment, after you finish that statement, look out the side of the window, notice almost instantaneously that the vehicle is stopped. And you're in the middle of the woods on this mountain pass that is now becoming familiar because you did have an encounter here not too long ago. Wow, was that this morning?
Yeah,
No,
it was quite a different encounter though. Quite a different
It was
encounter.
quite a different
Wasn't
encounter.
it, Jake?
Yeah. But you glance at Lenexia and she looks like she's frozen, almost as if she's about to respond to you. And you glance at Jake and Zev, and he appears to be frozen. Fenton appears to be frozen. And you look out the side of your vehicle, and you see an owl sitting on a tree branch. But this owl is as dark as night, and its amber eyes are bigger than you could perceive, but also at the same time, they're roughly appropriately sized. And it speaks to you and says, "Am I an animal?"
Yo, I meant no disrespect.
I understand that. But you must remember that when you were human, you didn't know as much as humans often know.
That is what I was trying to explain, that we saw ourselves as something that we're actually not. We're not the top of the chain. We're not the all-ending, all-singing, all-dancing answer to everything.
And I'm glad you see that. Just wanted to hop in and say it's good to see that you're growing. Wisdom.
Thank you. I'm finding this these last few days very, very taxing.
There is a lot going on. Perhaps when you get the chance, once this threat is dealt with, you might look to the grove one more time. All of you.
Yes.
And Owl, the capital O, Owl, spreads its wings and launches off into the deepening haze of afternoon and early evening that it now is. And again, the car is traveling along at speed, and Lenexia flies.
And Lenexia,
different in how you.
come on, Lenexia. The first time you felt 8 fingers between 2 hands, wasn't it amazing?
What?
The first time you turned into a human and experienced having 8 fingers on 2 hands. Wasn't it amazing?
I mean, I had.
Yes, of course, you had the 2 thumbs as well, but you had 8 fingers.
I mean, I had
Most of the wolves have 10 digits.
Other things to deal with first time turning human.
Opposable thumbs? I mean, come on. It's what separates us.
You talk
Game
about
Boy.
like the first time we turn is something that none of us ever forget. But I also had to then face turning human. I couldn't return to my pack. I couldn't return to my pack as one of them after that. It's something that you never thought would happen. I mean, looking at the tribe name.
Children of Gaia.
Yeah.
Tribe.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one was which. But yeah, looking of the Children of Gaia found me and was able to basically teach me how to be this functioning adult. Which, yeah, it's still hard for me sometimes, and I understand you are proud to be where you're from, as I am. But I think this is why I mean, we've got to drive, so I think it's fair to bring up that I am of different origin than you.
I think our differences make the pack stronger.
It should. But I will not rebel.
Well, I don't know. Does anybody believe it when Zev says that?
No. No.
I personally don't believe I make the pack stronger. I believe everybody else does.
It's possibly the first statement he's made for quite some time that I actually agree with, so I'm all right with that one.
Yeah, I think in the moment it's just one of their profound statements, like, yeah.
Roll with that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's right now.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to go with the theme, Aaron, can you pop up with a cooler and pass me one of those beers, please? But seriously, don't drink and drive.
What? Yeah, Aaron just looks quite confused.
Sorry, I was just having a moment. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. Does Zev have a cooler full of beers in his car?
Colorado, I would assume by law you
beers,
have to.
Right? Actually, what's funny, I don't actually know the law in Colorado, but it might surprise you to hear that at least in my hometown and maybe the entire state of Missouri, it is 100% legal to drive with an open container, as long as the driver is not drinking.
It makes
Crazy.
sense. This way they could sell more beer and take the tax money and put it
Well,
towards
my state is the home of
roads,
Budweiser,
education,
so
possibly.
Budweiser has done a lot of lobbying
I see.
over the years. But yeah, that's basically what it boils down to is Budweiser state. That's why.
Nice.
Anyway, so it takes you a while to drive up into the mountains. Maybe, and I'll give you the opportunity, but maybe you have other things to discuss as you do so. But once you get past the site of the encounter that was had yesterday, and there are still noticeable signs, right? Like where the two vehicles ran into each other, it's clear that the tire treads had made deep grooves in the gravel path. But it looks like someone has been along to clear the wreck, as it were. Whether or not police were involved in that, it's difficult to say. But somebody has been along and cleared all that stuff. However, you all can feel very safe in the knowledge that no record of your involvement in that situation could either be found or documented thanks to the ritual that Aaron performed with all of you earlier today. But once you pass that, you're kind of in new territory, and the trail is maintained but becomes a little bit more treacherous the higher up you go. Following the trail of using the right of kin seeking that Lenexia trying to pinpoint where you were getting the sense of this kinfolk is difficult, but again, you're just following the drive. I will ask Lenexia to make a wits and survival test. You do not get your specialty because technically, although you are in woodlands, you're in a car on a road. So just make it with the base score. So yeah, wits and survival to try and follow the feeling so that you can kind of get close.
Do I gain the bonus from the kin seeking, or is?
Yeah, you are gonna still get the +2 bonus from kin seeking.
Okay,
Yes.
+2, yeah. So.
So 1 success. You feel like you get in the general area, and it takes some time, and you're driving quite high, actually. At some point, the trees begin to thin out, and you notice that you're driving high enough that you're above the tree line. The road becomes pretty treacherous, but since you're just traveling and not like in a chase or anything, I'm not going to make you make a driving roll, but if that becomes necessary, it could be a problem. I don't know if any of you have ever been on like a mountain road before, where you have sheer drop-offs and things like that, but that's kind of what you're dealing with here. One lane, There are a few places here and there where it might be wide enough for two vehicles to be able to pass, but they would have to do so very, very slowly and very carefully. And eventually, you come in sight of what looks to be a compound of some kind. There is a low wall that is composed of both rock, like quarry stone, and also wood. Not really anything so medieval as like having a parapet of any kind, but definitely a wall that's at least 7 feet tall, that looks handmade for the most part. Most of the wood that's used looks like it was planed using possibly like a chainsaw on just a log that had been felled. So these are not like, lumber that you buy in Lowe's. These are handcrafted supplies that people use. And beyond the wall, you catch a glimpse of a large building and maybe a few smaller outbuildings. You don't really see any activity, but there are a few vehicles that look kind of like junkers, roughly along the same kind of condition as that white truck you followed the other day. So yeah, I mean, if you keep on the road, at some point you're going to have to turn off to kind of follow the drive, and it is a long drive that heads up to this compound. Or you can do something else and tell me what you're going to do. So, but if you turn on the drive to head to the compound, if anybody's looking, they're going to know that you're coming. It is, at this point, late afternoon.
Suggest that we stop and sort of put the truck to one side.
Yeah, we'll have to take this carefully. Obviously, if the spirit is still in that person, or if there's another spirit in here, they will be able to see us a lot quicker.
So, I think we're coming up on time for today, so I think we might call it there and approach, if your goal is to investigate this compound, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll give you, well, at this point, since we have a one-shot week this week, I'll give you 2 weeks to consider how you're going to approach this compound. I will tell you in advance, there is really no tree cover. As I said, you're above the tree line at this point. So approaching during the day might not be the best idea. But approaching at night has other potential issues depending upon what you might be facing. Lenexia can in fact sense the kinfolk still present, but now that you're close to the site, I will also tell you that you sense many of them. Probably at least twice your number, maybe more.
Ooh, okay.
So, we will leave it there. Let's do some passing out, and then you might also consider spending some of your experience before the next session, if you would like to do so. So 110. There we go. Everybody gets a point of experience for participation. Did anybody perform something remarkable during the session that garnered the whole table's appreciation? Character doing or saying a certain thing.
I liked the speech that Erin made to try and stop and halt and calm Hannah. I did really like that.
Okay, yeah. Bringing up her husband.
Yeah, bringing up her husband and saying that we're all one is like basically explaining the essence of what we are as werewolves, but in a good way.
Yeah. Okay. So Aaron gets another one. Anybody else?
I think Lenexia sort of finally sort of feeling confident enough to tell us about her past, and it was really timely how she's done it, and really well explained, and it prompted a really interesting sort of conversation.
Okay. Excellent. So Lenexia gets another point. The nominations. The
I think
tea.
this is the tea.
I think everybody dug the tea. Actually, I thought it was a fantastic coping mechanism. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna go make some tea. Yeah.
It's the British solution to everything.
Yep. That's what we do best.
What other letters of the English language can you offer us?
So sure, I have no problem giving Fenton an extra point there. What were you gonna say, Jake?
I think it was a Lenexia night, really, because I liked their whole interaction with the girl as well, and like kind of taking her under her wing, usurping her from me, basically, and making her new bestie. Like the only other female character in this adventure now. So
I wasn't going to stop you, but you didn't slip her your number. Who knows?
Oh,
maybe she might call Lenexia and be like, "I want to talk to that Zev guy about suppressing this."
Exactly.
Okay, so next one. Anybody use a skill, gift, or other trait in a clever or critical way? I'm going to say Fenton, with managing to get off the penumbral senses and see the interaction with the bear and Hannah. So there'll be a point for Fenton there. Anybody else do anything?
Yeah,
you think
noticing
critical or interesting?
It's nice. I like the interaction between Aaron and the owl, capital O.
It wasn't a skill or anything, though, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't a skill. That was just an interaction.
Yeah.
But
but that could still be his character development point.
Well, he already got that. Okay. He got that from his interaction with Hannah. I can't double dip, but you're right. That was a good interaction. No other skill, gift, traits, clever, critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be in a heavy role playing sort of straight to role playing,
for sure.
Sort of dice light session, isn't it? This one.
Yeah. Okay, so one at a time. Fenton. Did Fenton learn anything important this session?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing stands out?
No, nothing stands out. I mean,
I'm not going to force you to take the experience.
Throw a spoon spoon out the window, but other than that, it's...
Okay, did Zev learn anything important this session?
I don't know if it's learning anything. I would say Jacob learned something today. And I don't know if it was, part of Zev, but really having this NPC have their first experience and me wanting to reach out and help this person as much as possible get through this so that she doesn't turn out like the rest of the people in my pack. I actually, again, you marked down, you used the word pack, but I did use the word pack. I did identify and associate with it in a way that Jacob never did before, because I'm sure I would have prior, but in the role play of trying to help her, I did embrace it a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you a point for that. How about Aaron? Did Aaron learn anything?
I think just more about learning about Lenexia, sort of like taught him some more about himself as well, and then the encounter with Owl, just sort of like, I think moving more towards what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to be as a silent strider, rather than just a vengeful prick. It's just sort of like I think I know what I'm doing, and then I realise I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm getting a bit more idea of where I need to be going, sort of thing, and what my life is now.
Okay, excellent. I'll give you a point for that. And finally, Lenexia. Did Lenexia learn anything?
I don't actually think Lenexia learned anything this session. It was more of letting the others know who she was, which was just opening herself up and the possibility.
Yeah, good role play.
Sort of opening herself up in that way. So it's more of letting others learn about her rather than her learning anything this fun.
Okay, that's fair. All right, well, that is it then for today. I will share the experience point chart again if anybody wants to take a look at that before we disconnect. But as far as the stream goes, I think we are done.